Ethan was born in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. Every morning he woke up to the sound of old buses, crowded streets, and people struggling just to survive. His family didn't have much. Sometimes there wasn't enough food on the table, and his clothes were old and worn out. But despite everything, Ethan had one thing that no one could take away from him: a dream. Every evening after school, Ethan would sit by the small window in his room and look at the city lights. He imagined a different future, one where he could help his family and prove that where you start in life doesn't determine where you finish. School wasn't easy. Many students laughed at his old shoes and patched backpack. Some teachers doubted him because his grades weren't impressive at first. Every failure made him question himself. One day he received another failing test. Holding the paper in his hands, he felt completely defeated. That evening, Ethan sat alone in his room with tears in his eyes. For the first time, he thought about giving up. His father quietly walked in and sat beside him. "You know what separates winners from everyone else?" his father asked. Ethan shook his head. "Winners don't quit when life gets hard. They keep going when everyone else stops." Those words stayed with Ethan forever. The next morning, he woke up before sunrise. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he decided to change his habits. Every morning, he ran through the neighborhood before school. It wasn't just exercise. It was training his mind to become stronger. After school, he spent hours studying under a small desk lamp. While other kids played video games, Ethan kept reading, learning, and practicing. Progress was slow, but every single day he became a little better than the day before. Months later, one of his teachers noticed something different. Ethan was no longer the quiet student sitting in the back of the classroom. He answered questions, stayed after class to ask for help, and never stopped trying. The teacher smiled and said, "I don't care where you came from. I care about where you're going." Those words gave Ethan even more confidence. Soon, he earned his first academic award. It wasn't the biggest achievement in the world, but to Ethan, it meant everything. It proved that hard work really could change a person's future. Life still wasn't easy. His family struggled to pay bills and college seemed impossible. Tuition was expensive, and Ethan knew his parents couldn't afford it. Instead of complaining, he found a part-time job after school. He worked long hours stacking shelves and cleaning floors. He came home exhausted, but every night he still studied until midnight. There were nights when he wanted to quit. His body was tired. His mind was exhausted. But every time he thought about giving up, he remembered his father's words. Winners don't quit. Months turned into years. Finally, the day came to take the national scholarship exam. Ethan walked into the testing room with nervous hands but a determined heart. Weeks later, he received an email. His hands trembled as he opened it. "Congratulations, you have been awarded a full scholarship." For a moment, he couldn't believe it. His mother cried. His father hugged him with tears in his eyes. All the sacrifices, sleepless nights, and moments of doubt had finally paid off. College brought new challenges, but Ethan had already learned the most important lesson in life. Never stop moving forward. He worked harder than ever, graduated with honors, and eventually built a successful career. Years later, Ethan returned to his old neighborhood. This time, he wasn't the poor boy wearing worn-out shoes. He stood in front of hundreds of young students and shared his story. "I wasn't born with money," he said. "I wasn't the smartest kid in school. I failed. I was laughed at. I wanted to quit. But success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the people who refuse to give up." The audience stood and applauded. Some students wiped tears from their eyes because they realized something powerful. Your circumstances do not decide your future. Your decisions do. That day, Ethan smiled as he looked at the same sky he had dreamed under as a little boy. The dream that once seemed impossible had become his reality, and he knew one thing for certain: never quit. Because your greatest success may be waiting just one more step beyond the moment you feel like giving up. The end.